To all the people who own a Pioneer DDJ SX2 or SX, a tip on what not to do with these unit. If you hold the shift button down, or while you're holding the shift button down, if you press your vinyl mode at the same time, what happens is you delete the scratching capability out of your jag wheel, right? But if that happened to you while you're DJing, you could just shift and play in deck 4 and you'll still have the scratch pad going, right? But that's just a tip of what not to do. Now, in order for you to reload it back, you got to go on the Pioneer website and get the driver down. Make sure your computer Java is up to date, or else it won't work. You go to the Pioneer website and you download the driver. On the Macs it show up like that, right? And then what you do, before you even do anything, you turn your unit on. Make sure your vinyl mode light is flashing. Make sure both of them is flashing, because when you reload the software, if these weren't flashing when you turn the unit off, it won't reload the scratch feature back in the jog wheel. So you got to make sure that's flashing. Then what you do, you turn the unit off. You press the shift button on this side, the shift and the sync and the power at the same time. Hold it down till the light in the center console flash 3 times, I think, 2 or 3 times, and then you release it, and then you go to your software. You clicked on it, right? Now, if you click on your software, and you didn't do the sync properly with the power and the sync and the shift button at the same time, it will tell you that the unit is not connected. It will work, trust me. I've done it a couple of times before I get it to work, so it will work, and you'll get back your feature back in your scratch pad. But I'm going to show you what the light in the console is going to flash and look like once you get it working. So you hold put your hand on the shift button and the sync button, squeeze both of them, then you let it go, right? And when you let it go, you get it flashing like that. Now, if you click on the driver, see, I didn't do it fast enough, so it's telling me that it's not connected. So you gotta do it, I think it's 2 or 3 times. You gotta play with the sequence a little bit, and you gotta get it to work. I've lost mine 2 nights ago, and while I was DJing, and in order for me to get it back up and running, I had to do that. I watched a video on YouTube. It didn't tell you exactly what to do. That's why I'm doing this video. It tells you that you download the software, you load it, but it didn't tell you that if the jog wheel light is not flashing when you load it, if those lights are not on when you turn it off, it doesn't put back your features in your jog wheel. That's what happened to me. It didn't do it the first time it loaded, and I had to do it over again, right? So now you have it right there. It's fully functioning. And although you lose the scratching capability out of it, if the song is on pause or stop, you could it still shows that you're scratching with it. But the moment you hit play, you don't have the scratch mode, right? The moment it's playing, you don't have that scratch mode feature. So it will show that way, but just remember, you won't be able to scratch with it, right, in that case. So that's just a tip of what not to do. Your shift button is located above your sync button. Sometimes you're pressing maybe a sync or to shift or to delete something off this, and you'll see your light flash, because once you hit the shift button, that light flash, right? And what was happening with me, this light would go on by itself, and I said, okay, maybe that's the way to delete it. So I end up pressing the shift button and that together, and it delete that out of it. So a tip, what not to do, right, for all the DJs people that bought one of these unit, a tip on what not to do. You do that, you delete the drivers out of the unit, and you gotta resync it. Sometimes you have to go to the place that you buy it from. They might not even know about it. They might have to call a Pioneer. They might have to swap the unit out for you, and sometimes you don't have time for that. But the deck will still play. You will still be able to press play and use your cue buttons, even if the scratch pad is not working. So you can still play with it for the night, but you won't have the scratching feature in it, which is kind of It can be a drag sometime when you're DJing. But that's a tip on what not to do, right? DJ Dot here. I'm out. Like my video. You can share it if you want. Thank you.